Hello Cookery Club. Today we're going to cook some shortbread. So, this is what you're going to need. First of all, heat the oven to 180 degrees. You're going to need a mixing bowl, some scales. You're going to need 250 grams of white flour. You're going to need 75 grams of caster sugar and 175 grams of margarine or diced butter, which has been left out of the fridge for a while to go soft. Okay, so just 3 ingredients. You'll also need a 25 centimetre tin, and if possible line it with some greaseproof paper, but otherwise you can prepare it by rubbing butter around the outside. Okay, so first of all I'm going to measure out my 250 grams of plain flour and add in my 175 grams of margarine or softened butter. Okay, then I'm going to use my fingers, and I've washed my hands, to very gently rub. It's almost like tickling the flour and the butter together. This is going to take a few minutes until it forms a consistency like large breadcrumbs. So it's going to take me a little while. Okay, so I've just spent about 3 or 4 minutes getting it to this stage. You can see that it is clumping together, but there's no longer any lumps of butter there. It's sort of butter and plain flour mixed in. Okay, so I'm just going to rub that off my fingers. It's quite sticky. And then I'm going to add my 75 grams of caster sugar. And again, I'm going to mix this in with my fingers. This won't take so long. Just rub it. You want to get it all the way through, right to the bottom. Otherwise, it'll be parts of your shortbread that aren't sweet. Okay, so just turn that up from the bottom. Okay, so now it's well mixed and it's starting to form a really good clump. So I'm going to make it into a big ball. Move the tin across. Now, as I said before, you can either line the tin, so draw a circle on some greaseproof paper and put it in the bottom. I've got a piece of silicone paper here. Or you can get some butter and rub around the inside, and that will stop it from sticking. Okay, so I'm going to put my lump of shortbread in there. I'm going to put the crumbs there, we don't want to waste any. And now, with your fingers, start pressing the shortbread to fill the tin. Okay, I'm actually going to use a palette knife for this because I don't really want my finger marks in it. Okay, so I'm going to press it right to the edges and start to smooth it off. Okay. Get it into edges. It's a bit thin over there, so I'm trying to push it out to get some even depth, otherwise it won't cook evenly. Okay, there's one more thing we need to do now before we put it in the oven, and I'm just going to get a fork, and with the fork I'm going to prick some holes in the top to help it cook evenly. Now, not all the way through, just gently prick into the surface, a couple of millimetres in with a fork. It makes it look nice as well. Okay, nearly done. Wow, that didn't take long, did it? Okay, shortbread's ready to go in the oven now. So, I'm going to put it in without a glove, but make sure when you take it out you put an oven glove on. It's heated to 180 degrees, and if I just check my recipe, that should take about 20 to 25 minutes, so set a timer. And when it starts going golden around the edges, you know it's done. So you need to then take it out and put it on your cooling rack. See you in a minute. Okay, so that's 20 minutes. Let's have a look. Don't forget to use your knob and glove. Okay, if you have a look at that, it's just going brown around the edges now. This is definitely ready. So I'm going to put that on a cooling rack. I'm going to let it cool before I cut it, but what I am going to do, because this makes it really nice and crunchy on the top, is just to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top, and it makes it really tasty. Okay. And then, when it does cool, best thing to do is to first of all go round with a palette knife or a table knife to loosen the edges, and I would cut it across there, okay, so into say 12 pieces, okay, and then gently and carefully lift it out and put it in a tin, and it probably won't last very long because it doesn't in my house, but before you're allowed to eat any, you have to wash up. Bye.